Valencia becomes the stage for Yamaha's V4 shockwave. Valencia, usually a calm season finale, suddenly transformed into a battlefield of speculation when Yamaha rolled out their hidden V4 prototype for a closed-door test. No announcements, no hype, just a mysterious black carbon bike and the arrival of Toprak Razgatlioglu, yet the paddock instantly recognized this wasn't an ordinary test day. Journalists who came expecting an uneventful off-season session were taken aback by how often Toprak's name echoed across the pit lane. Yamaha, long criticized for clinging to their inline-4 philosophy, finally stepping into the V4 era was already shocking. But the true earthquake wasn't the machine, it was how Toprak handled it from the very first laps. As he walked toward pit lane, calm and confident, teams began whispering, what exactly is Yamaha preparing for 2026? And what role will Toprak play in that revolution? Rossi observes quietly, it doesn't make any sense. Valentino Rossi isn't someone easily impressed. After decades of racing and witnessing the greatest talents in MotoGP, his poker face is legendary. Yet that day, Rossi was seen staring at Yamaha's telemetry screens repeatedly, eyebrows raised, lips pressed, as if studying something unnatural. When reporters asked him about Toprak's performance on the entirely new V4 machine, he answered with a line that instantly ignited headlines. It doesn't make any sense. For Rossi to say that, the numbers must have been outrageous. Yamaha's historical weakness, braking stability, was suddenly shattered by Toprak in mere hours. Sector times, lean angles, throttle traces, and corner exit speeds all looked like they belonged to a seasoned MotoGP V4 veteran, not a first-day tester. Engineers checked the system for errors multiple times, but Rossi already knew the truth. The data wasn't broken. The reality simply defied expectations. Adapts from inline-4 to V4 in hours, not weeks. Switching from a cross-plane inline-4 to a V4 is notoriously difficult. Many MotoGP champions struggled with the transition, sometimes requiring months to fully understand the different torque delivery, braking behavior, and electronics. But Toprak tore the rulebook apart. His first session was wild, too aggressive on the throttle, braking too late, sliding far beyond Yamaha's normal comfort zone. Mechanics frequently held their breath as he flirted with disaster. Yet only a few hours later, the telemetry curves shifted dramatically. Braking became more precise, sliding turned controlled and calculated, and corner entry confidence skyrocketed. Toprak wasn't adapting in the traditional sense, he was shaping the bike to his style, bending the V4 into submission. Yamaha's fear that he would struggle disappeared quickly, replaced by awe as he made the machine dance to his rhythm, like it was a motorcycle he'd known for years. Telemetry data leaves Japanese engineers speechless. When the second session ended, Yamaha's engineers crowded around the monitors with shock in their eyes. They compared laps, overlaid data, rechecked baselines, and yet arrived at the same conclusion. Toprak was doing things no one expected. His corner entry speed reached levels comparable to top-tier MotoGP riders. His throttle control on corner exit, normally the hardest element for a newcomer, was a mixture of Casey Stoner's aggression and Marc Marquez's precision. Several engineers reportedly fell silent, holding their chests in disbelief as they replayed the data again and again. For Yamaha's typically stoic Japanese staff, to be stunned like this was rare. The numbers didn't just represent performance. For them, this was the first real sign that the V4 project might finally have a rider capable of unlocking its deepest potential. Toprak wasn't just fast, he was rewriting the machine's limitations in real time. Day 2, Toprak rides like a long-time V4 veteran. If day 1 was a shock, day 2 was a declaration. Toprak no longer looked like someone learning a new motorcycle. He looked like a rider who had been mastering V4 machinery for seasons. His late braking became even more violent yet stable. His controlled sliding looked like it belonged in a MotoGP physics textbook. And his corner exits were terrifyingly clean for someone so new to the bike. When he fired out of Valencia's final corner with throttle commitment beyond what any Yamaha rider had shown, the mechanics applauded spontaneously. This wasn't admiration, it was recognition that they were now witnessing something historically rare. The experimental Yamaha rider was gone. In his place stood a fully formed V4 threat, someone who could force Yamaha to rethink how the bike should be developed from here on out. Rossi compares Toprak to Stoner and Marquez. Rossi does not hand out compliments lightly, especially toward newcomers. But after analyzing the full data, even he couldn't stay silent. He said Toprak has Stoner-like aggression, an ability to dominate the most difficult motorcycles without fear. Yet his adaptation speed reminded Rossi of Marquez's early years, when he seemingly absorbed MotoGP machinery into his instincts overnight. This combination is beyond rare. Rossi elaborated, "Top doesn't follow the bike follows him." That statement spread across the paddock like wildfire. Analysts immediately began drawing parallels, debating whether Yamaha had accidentally discovered a once-in-a-generation rider. For Rossi to publicly elevate Toprak to the category of Stoner and Marquez was monumental. It marked a shift. Yamaha wasn't just rebuilding. They might be threatening to return as true title contenders, with Toprak as their new cornerstone.
Yamaha rushes back to Japan carrying Toprak's golden data. As soon as testing ended, something unusual happened. A group of Yamaha engineers left Valencia immediately, boarding the earliest flight to Japan with encrypted drives of Toprak's telemetry. Normally, data is studied in Europe for weeks before going to HQ. But not this time. The urgency was obvious. Yamaha recognized that they had stumbled upon the most valuable development material they'd seen in years. Toprak's extreme braking markers, slide angles, throttle mapping behavior, and traction control interactions were unlike anything their previous riders produced. Rumors spread that Yamaha's next-generation aero and electronics packages would now be rebuilt based on Toprak's riding DNA. This wasn't a rider adapting to Yamaha, this was Yamaha adapting to Toprak. A complete role reversal and a bold sign that the 2026 V4 revolution was accelerating faster than planned. Shock moment. Toprak meets Gigi Digna. Hours after testing, another twist exploded across MotoGP's social media. Cameras captured a quiet but powerful conversation between Toprak and Gigi Digna, the mastermind behind Ducati's empire. No big announcement, no staged moment, just two men talking in the pit lane among engine noise and mechanics walking by. Toprak spoke first, describing how savage MotoGP competition has become, how margins are shrinking, and how every lap now feels like a knife fight. Gigi listened with calm interest, the way he only does when speaking to someone he believes has exceptional talent. His reply was short but weighty. Stay calm. Riders want results too fast. It wasn't technical advice, it was philosophical, something he doesn't say to just anyone. Analysts immediately speculated, was this a subtle signal that Ducati had already placed Toprak on their radar? The paddock certainly thought so. A paddock joke that doesn't sound like a joke anymore. The tension of that meeting suddenly broke when Irv Ponerol jokingly shouted, "Breaking news, Toprak to Ducati." Everyone laughed, but the laughter carried a nervous tone. In MotoGP, jokes are rarely just jokes. Many iconic contracts began as light conversations in pit lanes just like this. Toprak's calm smile afterward only fueled the whispers. He looked neither surprised nor uncomfortable, almost as if he already knew he was entering a phase where every manufacturer wanted him. The paddock began buzzing with scenarios. Would Yamaha lock him down with a long-term deal? Would Ducati make an aggressive bid? Or would another factory attempt to steal the rising star of MotoGP's new era? The rumors spread like wildfire, and one thing became clear. Toprak was now the most dangerous free asset on the grid. A new Yamaha era begins, and Toprak is the key. As the sun set over Valencia, one truth stood above all the noise. Yamaha had found their turning point. The V4 that once seemed like a long, fragile experiment suddenly looked like a weapon capable of reshaping MotoGP 2026. And Toprak was the ignition. Rossi called him an anomaly. Engineers called him a new benchmark. Rival teams called him a future threat. Whatever label was given, one thing was undeniable. Toprak had forced Yamaha into evolution at a pace they hadn't experienced in over a decade. With his ability to merge instinct with technique, aggression with control, and chaos with precision, the synergy between rider and machine began to look like something out of MotoGP legend. If this trajectory continues, Toprak won't just be Yamaha's new star. He could redefine what the V4 project becomes. A future where the motorcycle and rider operate as one unstoppable entity.